Today's episode is a really good one, especially if you're in cosmetology school or just getting started in your career. I'm sitting down with Taylor, who just graduated and got her license literally 5 days ago. She documented her entire journey through cosmetology school, and what really stood out to me is how she showed up throughout that process consistently, intentionally, and with a willingness to grow. This conversation is a little bit unique because not only is she here to share her experience, but she's also in the process of interviewing with us at Bespoke. So you're getting a real time look at what it sounds like for someone stepping out of school and into the industry. We talk about her journey, what kept her motivated, what she learned along the way, and what it actually feels like to take that next step. If you're in that phase right now or about to be, this is going to give you a really honest and relatable perspective. All right, Taylor, before we get into everything, we're going to start with a quick little rapid fire to warm things up. So I want you just to say the first thing that comes to mind. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. Coffee or energy drink?
Coffee.
Early mornings or late nights?
Oh, I love both.
Okay. Blonding or brunettes?
Brunettes.
Working with music or silence?
Music.
Instagram Reels or TikTok?
TikTok usually transfers over into Instagram Reels, but TikTok.
Cool. Favorite part of doing hair so far?
I really, really love color.
Least favorite part of cosmetology school?
I think some of the younger mindset and drama that can come with it.
One word that describes your journey so far?
Inspiring.
Love that. Okay, perfect. So that's the vibe that we want to bring into this conversation. I'd love to start from the beginning. So, what made you choose cosmetology in the first place?
So I've always been kind of in the hair and beauty realm in life. I was a competitive dancer when I was younger. So I'd always done my own makeup and hair, but I'd also done a lot of my team's hair, just like braiding and different styles like that. When I graduated high school, it's something I really wanted to go into, but unfortunately at the time didn't have the funds. So once I was older and saved up, I re-looked into it and I kind of just went and toured and decided I was doing it right then and there. I love working with my hands and I'm not one to really sit behind a desk for very long. So I think it was just something that clicked in my head really easily, really fast.
Awesome. I feel like that's something that a lot of people kind of looking into this industry can relate to. At what point did it shift from something that you were trying into something you knew was for you?
I think I'm kind of an instant person with everything I do. I kind of go full speed ahead into it. So I don't know if there ever really was a point where I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this. As soon as I signed up for school, I was set in what I was doing. It became no other option. This is what I'm doing. I loved it from the moment I started doing it, but I think that love just grew for it. The more I was in school, the more the love for it grew.
I love that determination. What was the hardest part of your journey and what actually kept you going through it?
I think the hardest part of my journey was staying motivated with everything else that was also happening in my life with finances and relationships and things like that. But I think what kept me going is, again, just that mindset of there's no other choice. This is what I'm doing. This is what I decided. It's what I love, and treating it as my job and not so much as school, treating it as the first step of the rest of my life. And not just, oh, this is just like high school or this is just like college, because that's not really what it is. It's the first step to everything.
I love that. One of the things that really stood out to me about you is how you documented your entire journey. What made you decide to do that so publicly?
I love social media. I will always find a reason to post on social media. Before I've done sewing and making clothes or dressing up for work, dressing up for cosplays. And so when this became such a big part of my life, it kind of made sense that I would be recording it. But then it shifted in the classroom as more documentation for myself to go back and look at. When you're in the class with the curriculum you have, you really only see it once or twice. You do it once or twice because everything is so fast paced. Once you're out on the floor, you're still learning a lot, but it's everyone's own styles and their personal preference. It's not necessarily by the book. So I just wanted to always have that by the book reference to look back at. And I figured if it helped me, it probably helps some other people too. So why not share it with everyone?
I think that's a really good point where you say that, like, in school, you only get to see something like once or twice and then they just move on. I think that's,
Yes.
yeah, for anybody listening who's like thinking about going to school or who's in it right now, like, your journey is like, it's not unique to you in that sense. Like, this is what everybody has to go through. No, that's great. I'm glad you shared that. What do you think people connected to the most with your content?
I think seeing the real side of it, like seeing what the freedoms we had when we were in school and seeing what it was really like. Because it wasn't just always, I mean, there were some videos where, of course, cosmetology school, you wear black and it's just one little thing. You go, you're wearing your all black. But then the spirit days and stuff like that, where you still get to be a person, just seeing the different techniques, seeing the personality behind it all, and seeing that it can be a lot of fun and that you can record. I think it made it a little less serious in the regard to pure professionalism, even though yes, you want it to be professional, you want to be locked into what you're doing, you also want it to be fun, you want to convey that you can have fun, and I hope that people saw that in the videos.
No, I definitely agree with that. I think people in beauty school kind of get a bad rap of what it's like to walk even as like a client into a beauty school to have a service. And I think you were definitely a good representation of somebody who can have fun with it, but still be very intentional for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. How do you see social media supporting your career moving forward?
Social media's already brought clientele to me that even where I am, I have people that have reached out and wanted me specifically to do their hair, and people that I've done their hair in school and have stuck with me, and they're just waiting for me to be somewhere where I can continue to do that. I think it's great advertising for not only yourself and your skills, but the type of person you are. And then wherever you end up working, that's also great advertisement for them. So it really matters like what you're putting forward is that's what people are saying your whole life is.
But I love that first and foremost, though, like professionalism is so important to you on your social media. That's great to see. I think this part here is where a lot of people listening are going to relate to you. And that is, if you could go back to day one of school, what would you do differently?
I would from early on take more clients than I did. That really makes all the difference in your day. Cosmetology school can sometimes feel like it drags on just like anything, but it goes so fast when you take a client. Toward the end, the last month, the last 3 weeks specifically, I had clients every day, whether it was one or two. Sometimes I would stay tonight and take two clients, and my days went by so fast. But in the beginning, especially when you're first getting out there, you're so nervous. Even once you're taking it and you know it's an easy service, you are so nervous about every little thing. And I just wish I took even more clients just so I could really break past that a little more than I did.
That's great advice. What advice would you give to someone in cosmetology school who feels overwhelmed or unsure? I feel like that kind of answered part of it, but if there was anything else you would add to that.
Listen to yourself and listen to how you're feeling for sure, because pushing yourself, especially for those of you that have kids or have jobs outside of school, you definitely can hit a breaking point and that will affect everything in your life. So you really do need to listen to how you're feeling, but also just keep that mindset of this is what you want to do. You're doing it because you love it and you're doing it because it makes you happy. It shouldn't be super stressful. You're going to have days where you are stressed or things don't go the way you want. But that's just like one little part. And that's always a growing experience and it's going to happen. It happens to everyone. And school is the place for that.
I love that. You're so wise. Okay, now let's shift into a little bit of what it looks like stepping out of school and into the real world. What do you think is the biggest difference between school and working in a real salon?
I think the biggest difference is probably based on the clientele. In school, we have a lot of customers that they go there. I mean, the school prices are way less. We have a lot of people that have been getting the same services for the past 40 years and been going to the same school to get it the past 40 years, which of course you have in a salon. But I think that in school, a lot of the more fun, complicated projects with colors and different cuts people that you're bringing in from like your friend groups and family members and things like that. It's not necessarily people just coming to the school. So I think that the client base itself is going to be, it's going to be different for sure, and in a positive way, I think.
For sure. No, that's a really great point. What do you feel confident in right now, and where do you still feel unsure?
I feel pretty confident in everything that I've done so far. I definitely am not like anywhere near a professional, but I think I have a really good base to everything I do. I was really worried about cutting when we started, but I actually ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would, and I ended up feeling a lot more confident in it than I thought I would. Same goes for color and blonding. I feel like I'm in a place where if someone asks me for something with unlimited time and resources, I can get them there as long as I'm doing it safely and correctly. Like I'm confident in my ability to do it. I just don't know if it's the fastest, most efficient way for it to be done. I'm really excited to be at that point where I feel like someone could come in and ask me for anything and I don't have to worry because I know I can do that.
I love that. That's great. What do you think it actually takes to build a successful career behind the chair?
I think that determination and consistency are the two most important things. Um, Knowing that you are going to do it and keeping that mindset of I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and actually sticking with the consistency of showing up every day and giving it your best every day. And of course, you're going to have off days, but being able to recognize that that is just an off day. I truly do believe that if you like consistently push yourself and try to grow more and more, that there isn't anything you can't do.
I love that. As you're getting ready to step into your first salon, what are you looking for in a salon environment as you start your career?
I really am looking for an opportunity to grow. I would prefer not to end up somewhere that just specializes in one thing. I mean, there's like originally I was looking at places that were like specializing in blow drying, just styling.
Okay.
I was more so looking at it as, oh, this might be a good starting place. This might be a good place for me to like experience clients, but not get challenged too much. And my mindset quickly shifted to I'm not growing somewhere like that. I'm getting super proficient in blow drying, but I'm not going anywhere else.
Yeah.
I want to be somewhere where I'm being challenged and I can gain more skill and be more confident in everything that I do.
Was it kind of just going further into being in school and realizing that you had natural talent to some of the things that felt more challenging that really made you say, I want more than just, like you said, something that feels proficient and safe?
Yeah, I think being in school and just the more clients I took, realizing, oh, well, I'm already at this point, especially with blow drying and blowouts and things like that. I'm already at this point where I'm so comfortable with it. Why would I put myself in a situation that I don't feel like there's that much more growing to do? Of course, I can get better. I can get better in anything, but then, okay, I'm great at it. And now I'm just sitting there. And what happens if I just decide to sit there forever?
Yeah. No, I love that. You think so far ahead. That's great. What does support or mentorship look like to you?
I think support and mentorship is just having that person that wants the best for you and is there when you have the questions, is there when you need the help, is there so that you can watch and see someone that has been in the field for a long time and knows what they're doing. Um, just being able to learn and grow off of that person or with that person and really take guidance from them.
Awesome. I think this part is really important because it gives direction to everything that you're doing. And that's if you fast forward 1 year, what do you hope your career looks like?
If I fast forward 1 year, I just want to be in a place where I'm confident in what I'm doing. And I think I could definitely do that with the foundation that I have now and the amount of time that I was in school. I could see in a year from now, whether I'm assisting or I'm a stylist or I have my own chair or wherever I end up, just that I'm comfortable and confident in what I'm doing. And I'm still in a space where I'm growing and challenging myself.
And what would make you feel proud of yourself in that next phase?
Being good at what I do,
Yeah.
just knowing that when I take a client, they're leaving, they're happy and I knew what they wanted. I was able to like clearly communicate that with them and give them what they wanted. And if I could have a couple loyal clients, that would be amazing. That just shows that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I think that would make me really happy.
Okay, I want to ask you one last question to wrap this up. If you could become the best version of yourself in this industry, what does that look like?
The best version of myself would be in a place where I could help educate and inspire others, whether that's through social media or management or something of the sort. As of right now, I don't want to stop just behind a chair. I would love to own a salon eventually or own a chain of salons, and just spread the knowledge that I have and create a space where people can still come in and like love what they do and be excited about what they want to do, and they can get to that point where they're fully confident and they want to help people too. I think that's the dream, and that's where I'd ultimately love to see myself in this career.
I love that. I think what's really powerful about your story is that you didn't just go through school, you were intentional about how you showed up during it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Taylor, thank you so much for coming and sharing your journey. I think it's so valuable to anyone who's in school right now or just getting started to hear a real honest perspective from someone who's just gone through it. If you want to follow along with Taylor's journey, you can find her on Instagram at beauty.by.taylor. ELEHN. She's been documenting her growth, and I know that there's so much more to come. And as always, if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you so much, Taylor, and I'll see you in the next episode.